39.
Number 1.
39.
1.
38.
37.
36.
35.
34.
33.
32.
31.
30. 29.
28. 27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
22.
21.
20.
19.
18. 17. 16.
15.
14.
13.
12.
11.
10.
9. 8.
7. 6. 5.
4.
3.
2.
1. It's time for mouthwash. Giddy up. All right, everybody. We got little stuff going on here at the studio. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to edit the peeps on the streets, and it's running in the background, and it is messing up my feed. So if you'll bear with me for about, let me see how much we already have here. It's about a third of the way done, and we're going to restart this show with the countdown in just a few. So bear with me, and we'll be right back. Say 39.
Number 1.
39.
1.
38.
37.
36.
35.
34.
33.
32.
31.
30. 29.
28. 27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
22.
21.
20.
19.
18.
17. 16.
15.
14.
13.
12.
11.
10.
9. 8.
7. 6.
5.
4.
3.
2.
1.
It's time for mouthwash. Giddy up. Hi, and welcome to the Mouthwash Talk Show. We're off to a little rocky start. This is a minty fresh take on politics, and I have to apologize for the late start because I was trying to edit the peeps on the streets. So the good news is we have the return of the peeps on the streets. The bad news is it does not work well when I'm trying to run the edit while the show's going. But I see we got a couple of candidates backstage. We have Lucy and Jordan here with us. So this is going to be interesting. We're starting to see some of the results, and I think some of them are final. And I do believe the Anderson mayor race was only 4 votes, but we're not going to talk about that too much because we got city council, we got Marion County stuff going here. So I do apologize for late start. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring on the panel, and then we'll have our first victim on, and we'll see. It looks like both of the people backstage were victorious today. So that's going to be fun to talk about. So let's go ahead. I'm going to bring Lucy on here. Lucy, how are you this evening?
I'm doing better than good. I'm just a little head floating in Bimbo land.
All right. Yeah, I'm really on it tonight. I have not the right headphones on here. So now hopefully I'm going here. So I'll go ahead and bring on Jordan. Jordan, how are you this evening?
Doing pretty good. Looking forward to talking about these results for the election.
Okay, yeah, it seems like it's been interesting, and I think a lot of folks are like glad that the thing is over with. So we will go that route. So like I said, I'm still trying to do something. That's what's the good news is when you're the engineer and all the hats that I wear, sometimes it gets a little messy. So look, yeah, let's get the air to. It's time to go crazy here on the show. So. I mean, I know people that have run for office. You have. What do you feel like after you're done? It's like, but really they're not done. So
it's not done yet.
Mostly I'm lamenting my outcast fate, the fact that, the Republicans spent $90 million. And, between the Democrats and the Republican, they spent $90 million in my last race. And I spent So
yeah, that one was a good one. Joe Donnelly and they were fighting over that spot.
Donnelly, Ron,
I'm glad you didn't win, Lucy, because you wouldn't have time for us. You'd be a big time politician out there in Washington D.C. trying to change the world.
If I would have won, we would all be set free.
And taxation would not be happening, would it? It wouldn't be happening.
Well, let us see how we'll get things done without it.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Oh, it's really easy. You can do things voluntarily and not put a gun to people's head. And the things that are worth doing, people will give you money for. It's really cool that way. Nobody puts a gun to your head to go to McDonald's.
I'm gonna go shop with chicken eggs. That's what I'm gonna do. That's gonna be my currency is chicken eggs. So, all right. Well, I see we got a candidate back here. So let's go to our regular format here. And Jordan, you're not it. So let's see if we can get Chris Moore out here. We're gonna have Chris Moore. He had a race today. He was going. So, Chris, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate you coming on after the big victory today, but I don't think you had a challenger, did you?
No, ran unopposed for the Republicans.
Well, good. You had a chance. It's basically one of those, as long as you can keep breathing, you're going to make it to November. So we're going to ask you a couple questions on this. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, and you have a little show that's on the internet on Saturday nights. Tell us about that too. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your show.
Well, real quick, I'm Christopher Moore. I'm running for City County Council District 9 up here in Lawrence. And as most know, John and I started doing a show 3-4 years ago called Your Voice, Your Call. And in fact, John, today is 3 years. I put it over on Patriot Soapbox, which is on Saturday nights, 10 to midnight. Sundays 2 to 4, and the Right American Media is live shared on Saturday, as well as we're getting ready to launch a brand new set like Local Mondays. Yeah,
time flies when you have deadlines, doesn't it? So, yeah, it's something. Man, I cannot believe that it's been that long. But you know what? We had sort of the same vision of, the media is not going to cover us. We're going to start our own. And look at us now. Where I remember our first shows when we did the Mouthwash together. I mean, the Your Voice, Your Call together. We were going to do live streaming. And I think we, out of 4 shows, we were able to get 1 actually on the air. So it was tremendous, but it's come a long way with StreamYard and these other things, and you can do it. So tell us about your race and what your campaign's like, what you got planned, and then I'm going to unleash our awesome panel on you tonight. And
I love it.
In a mood.
Well, as most of us know out here, we really need to bring a balance to our council. 25 seats. We have a 20 Democrat to 5 Republicans. We need to try to bring that back to a balance, and at the same time, work together to make our streets safer, stop wasteful spending, and let's work on lowering on crime, amongst other things that we all want to band together and take care of. It's just kind of summing up. Summary there.
Yeah. Yep. So if we were to say, oh, no, I'm not answering any more questions. I'm not asking more questions. Jordan, you got a question. Okay. Because I'll just ask questions all night and you guys sit there and watch.
No worries.
Right?
No worries. I got some for him. Okay. So, Chris, congratulations, first of all, with getting 100% of it, even though you didn't have a primary, but still, that is still something to be proud about. The public likes you. So my biggest thing is, going into city council, if you especially win the general election, with the balancing the budget, what are you going to bring in there to really help make sure that we're using every dollar that's coming from the taxpayer to make sure we're dealing with the issues and making sure that we're doing what's need to be done, as in giving oversight, whether if that's removing money from programs that are not working? What conservative values are you going to bring to that scope of insight for us?
Well, Jordan, you pretty much nailed it. The budget is the biggest issue. When they put it out for the public to see, it's filled with a bunch of nonsense and they don't think you're going to read it. Well, there are departments that have money. The money is allocated to that has nothing to do with taking care of our city. We've got to do away with that. Put the money back and take in the city. That includes hiring more officers like Jefferson Shreves wants to do. The money is there. So let's put the money into that option there and get some more officers on the street. And if I'm not mistaken, we spent money on, I believe, more lighting that's sitting in a warehouse somewhere that, Hogshead said we're going to put out. Well, if that's the case, let's do these things that we're supposed to do a long time ago. And let's stop wasting money on nonsense. And in my opinion, like the red line, blue line, all that stuff to destroy businesses. Let's put that money back into making the neighborhood safer and better. We're never going to eliminate crime 100%, but we can reduce it. And what will work in one area will not work in another. So we all have to band together and look at the demographics of the areas and see what we can do to make it better. And let's get our infrastructure back up to par. I mean, our donut counties around us can make their streets look good. Why can't we?
Well, how are you going to work with the Democrats across the aisle? That's going to be the biggest thing, is having bipartisanship. So my next question to you is, what are you going to do to work with some disgruntled Democrats that may, you get in there, they might try to shut you down? What are you going to do? What type of strategies are you going to use to really make sure you push that forward and they don't filibuster you the whole time?
That's what's going on now. So with the current setup. So I think all of us together, the Republicans that take these seats, if we get that balance, we've got to be able to talk across the aisle. Okay, we can compromise. There's things we can do that we can agree on. Okay, this time maybe I'll work with you on this, work with us on this. But we all got to get together. It's not like get off in your little groups and we're going to, filibuster them and tell them no, and then come back in a vote and we're all sitting there going, what just happened? Because there's nobody on the same page. That we got to get on the same page. And I'm hoping we got a good, strong leader that's going to help that as well. We'll see what happens. November's 5.5 months or so away. We got to, see what goes on.
Well, best of luck to you on it. I think you got a good shot, brother. Keep it up.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Jordan. Thanks.
All right. You made it through Jordan, the cushy Republican. Now let's see what the Bimbo Bakery's got for you up here. Come on, Lucy. What you got?
Well, she's got
Yeah,
to mute her.
you're still muted, Lucy. It's like it's amateur night here.
What? No,
It's amateur night here on the Mouthwash Show. 118 episodes, and we still don't have it down. It's like
It
What
doesn't
I
take away the sting of the attack. So don't get it.
It's a good thing I was muted because what I said was not Channel 40 safe. So after I said it, I was like, I probably should have said that one, but it was okay because I had preemptively muted myself. I think, Jordan, I loved your question, man. That was really good. So, Chris, my question for you is, will you advocate for the elimination of any tax that you can eliminate, specifically property taxes? That's what I really want to nail you down on. I know it's not necessarily your function to do so. You may not have the power to do so. But are you willing to stand up for the people and say, look, this house has been here for 150 years. It's been paying into the system this whole time. This is crazy. We paid for the infrastructure. There's no more excuses to steal from people. It's little old ladies in their home.
I'm against referendums when it comes to taking people's property tax because, especially on our elderly, they've been there for a long time. They've owned their homes. Why constantly keep taxing them on that property? It doesn't make any sense. I think maybe at a certain age it should cut that off. You're right, though. It's not really our level directly, but we can work towards that on county and city level money. And then we got to work with the state to say, hey, you got to take,
So glad to hear you say that. So it is really sad when you see people that are old and they paid and paid and paid and there's no end in sight. Mm-hmm. So Chris, what's the age? If you could propose an age that people don't pay property taxes over, what would it be?
That's a good question there too. But let's see, retirement age of what, 64 to 66?
62,
so
65.
Yeah, maybe in around there.
Yeah.
I would say you hit that retirement age, there you go. That's what I would say.
Would you say that it's actually immoral? I mean, we've crossed the line into immoral to continue to tax these little old ladies and these little old men. They're just trying to stay in their houses.
Yeah, especially later on. And I'm going to just bottom line say it there, Lucy. The Constitution, it's our federal and state constitutions pretty much tells you taxation is, it's illegal.
Well, there were some idiots in Indiana a few years ago that I think they might have called themselves the Tea Party that managed to step in a big pile of doo-doo and get the Constitution of Indiana to have taxes made legal. And it was not constitutional in Indiana before that. Now it is. So now I got to ask you, the lead up question here. At what age is it not immoral to charge taxes? I mean, is it 65 it becomes immoral? Or, I'm 51. Is it immoral still to charge me taxes?
Well, again, I'm going to go back to maybe when it comes to property taxes and that kind of issue with houses and property, 65 is a pretty good cutoff, but there is still to a point you need some tax to some degree, but we don't need to be taxed to death where we can't survive. And if you own your home.
I'd just like to say on the record, I identify as 65.
Okay. I knew this was coming, Lucy. No, yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to take a long time.
No, you're right. I get it. Believe me, I get it. But we gotta curb that. We gotta work on that. And I'm way against referendums that are literally screwing the elderly and the property just to do things that really, I mean, you're asking for $3 to $4 more per year tax per property, and then just imagine how many properties you're doing that to. I also would like to see, how about we hold these people from out of state that own homes here, and somebody wants to come up and buy a house, one of those homes, and instead of charging the people that own the home initially, that's out of state businesses, to sit there and say, hey, you should be paying for this issue, they sock the new homeowner with all that money. I don't think that's right either. I think that's something we got to look at and work into and say, hey, enough's enough. Let's build the city, not take it down.
Yeah, we like build. Okay, so if you're in our audience there, I see we have some people. We have in the viewer there. If you have a question, you could go ahead and fire it out there at any time, and I'll put it up there for folks. But so, Chris, we got others to come on here. We appreciate you coming on, and I got a little treat for everybody. We've got a little show coming up this Friday. The Forensic Foreplay is coming back.
Nice.
And so you'll get a kick out of this one. This one, I don't know if you've heard of Megan Stoner. If anybody's heard of Megan Stoner, she's actually someone on the north side, Hamilton County, Anderson area, that has been running a little con game for the last several years. And there's actually a Megan Stoner Chronicles. And so some people have reached out and we're going to do a little show. So I'm going to go ahead and play the preview, and then we're going to bring on our next guest, Kelly Calloway. Her race is, she had a 3-way race down the south side, and it looks like maybe not so much with all that. So yeah, Lucy's, I see you there, Lucy, in the private chat. Lucy's lobbying to be on Chris's show on Saturday, because I know some of the that was a private. I'm sorry, that was private chat. The people.
How you gonna air out a girl like that?
Yeah, why I gotta do that? Why I gotta do that? So anyway, while you guys are laughing, here, take a look at this preview for this show Friday at 9, and then we'll bring on our next person. So thanks, Chris. Thanks for coming on. And
I appreciate it, John. Thank you, guys.
Likes your show better than ours, so she wants to be on it. So there you go. There you go. All right, Lucy, how'd you get out there? You're taking over this show too. You quit messing with our guests.
Capability.
Quit messing with our guests. Get back where you belong. That's her. There you go. Lucy is on the top. I don't want to hear about it in the staff meeting about how she's got to be the top biller there. So that's good. She is sporting our sponsor. By the way, we got Beambo. They got a little extra time today because I was editing the show, so which was a little late. So Kelly Calloway, how are you tonight?
I'm worn out. I'm exhausted. Can you tell I'm in my robe? I just got out of the bubble bath.
If you didn't tell us, we would have known. So, but so tell us a little bit about yourself and what district and all that you were running in today.
District 22, and down on the south side. And I'm just a mom, a grandma, concerned citizen. I'm worn out. Sorry.
That's okay. Our show's pretty laid back. So,
yeah.
And this is interesting for our viewers. Kelly's never run for office and never really thought about it. And
yeah, I did think about it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you never really, you didn't jump in there. And
right.
I was impressed. You learned as you went. And I got a question. I know you're tired, and usually you don't ask somebody after surgery if they want to have surgery again, but we're going to ask you if you ever want to run for office again. Would you consider it?
I might consider it. Yeah.
Yeah. See, she's got the fever. He got the fever. That's what we got here. So, well, I'm going to open it up. We're going to start you out with Lucy tonight on the first, right? Since you're tired, I'm going to turn Lucy loose on you. So
okay.
Go ahead, Lucy.
Well, I'm going to go really easy on my fellow girl. So
thank you.
Tell me about your experience running. Did you feel respected by the voters? Did you have some crazy things happen behind the behind the scene party politics? Did you feel supported?
Voters, yes. Party, no. Most of the events that I went to, nobody, excuse me, nobody really talked to me, but I don't care about that. That doesn't bother me at all. They're just, who knows what they are, but no, I had a lot of fun with the guys that I worked with. That made it worth it.
Will you do it again?
I probably might. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good start. It's one of those things where you really just can't explain it to somebody what it's like till you do it. And Lucy's,
right.
She's put her thing in, she's been in there. She's done the hokey pokey several times. She put her right foot in and her left foot in and all of that in. That's where it gets.
Unfortunately, I couldn't put a right cross in or a left jab in.
It's a lot of hard work, and a lot of listening to the other guy, the guys that were advising me and directing me and everything. And sometimes you feel like you're being pulled in a couple of different directions, but it was fine.
It's good. So Jordan, what question might you fashion for?
Well, first
Kelly?
I want to say thank you for running. It's people in the grassroots levels that can truly make a difference, even if it may not seem like it was impactful, do know that that race has touched people out there. So my
Yes,
question for you is, go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
a lot of voters, really reached out to me and thanked me and said they were really rooting for me and all that sort of thing. That was nice.
Yes. And so my thing is for you, after being on the campaign trail, we both have run. I ran for state representative, you for city council. What would be the biggest takeaway that you feel that we learned that we want to now give back to the community, that we realized what wasn't working, and now that we have went through running a race, we kind of get a better look at things. We kind of get a 360 panoramic view of the state of politics and all of this. What would you say your biggest takeaway was that you learned about yourself?
Well, not necessarily myself, but a lot of voters feel like they are not heard, and that politicians aren't really doing what they want, and their concerns aren't being heard, and what they need is not being addressed. How's that?
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's accurate. I think some of these incumbents and people that have been around for a while, they get caught up in their own world, and they forget that there's some constituents. It's almost like the voters are a pain in the neck.
The danger of establishment. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to get it. So Kelly, go ahead.
A lot of people are very upset about the road conditions. And now, as of the last couple of weeks, they're very, very concerned and upset about the property taxes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's heavily on people's minds, and when they go up that much. And Lucy didn't really get to ask that question, but one of the things I woke up this morning or the other morning, I don't know, and I woke up and I thought, it's double taxation if you think about it, because we get taxed on that every year, and then when we sell our house, we get taxed on the capital gains. So really, all the equity we get in our houses, we give it back to the government. I mean, if you think about it, they tax it every year, and then when you sell it, you got a little gain. They get a part. They get some of that. It's like the mafia. They get a taste of everything.
It's double taxation.
Yeah, and what are they doing
with false representation? That's what it is.
Yeah, they're getting fishing trips down to Costa Rica. That's what I'm thinking. Catching snooks, and I'm not talking about voters being the snooks. I'm talking about the real fish. So yeah, that it seems like we could get a break between that and the gas tax, but that's a state sort of deal. And but the city still rakes in a lot of money. It's doesn't seem like we're getting the services we deserve. So anyway, Kelly, we thank you for coming on. You do look tired, but I love the fact that you're going to do it again. And we look forward to it because you learned quickly, and it was all good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to play our sponsor's official request here for workers. And if you're nail and hair stuff, if you get slow on that, you could always deliver Bimbo bread, and that's pretty lucrative, and all the Twinkies and muffins you can eat. So that's a good thing. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Kelly. Thanks for running. Thanks for being a great sport. So all righty. All right, Lucy, how do you keep getting out there? Who's running this fiasco?
I'm just putting out the frequency.
You are. It's like, yeah.
Just call me Lucy Tesla.
Lucy Tesla. That's right. Well, you're space Lucy, Lucy X.
Exactly.
Lucy X the Bimbo. So yeah, that's good. Hey, look who we got here. We got my wife, Lisa. She's downstairs. Hi. I'm in the studio. So yeah, Lisa, I'm just going to treat you like a regular guest and not like that I really know you well. Okay. So,
okay.
Let's do this like it's like a dating site or something. And I ask the questions or whatever. No, don't do that. That's not going to work. So
who's
Lisa,
in charge of this show? Can't you guys shut him down?
I know this has been.
He has the mute button.
It's been a day. Okay, just for that, I'm going to play Peeps on the Streets. You're going to have to wait. So we're going to do Peeps on the Streets now. And this is why the show got started so late, because I was editing it. It is freshly done. I mean, an hour and a half ago, this was done. So I got it done. If there's editing mistakes in here, don't blame me. I did the best I could. So let's watch Peeps on the Streets, and then we'll have my lovely wife Lisa back on after this, after I can figure this out. So I'm going to do peeps on the streets, and then I got to go get my props for the conspiracy theory because I forgot them, and I may or may not have to pee. So that is going to go on while this thing's going. So let's see if I can do it. If I come back and I'm out of breath, that's why. All right, here's peeps on the streets. Hi, this is John Schmitz for the Mouthwash Talk Show. Peeps on the streets. We're down here at the Hotel Tango, and we are at Jefferson Shreve's. I don't know if it's a victory party or if it's a defeat party or what it is, but we're down here and we're going to do the peeps on the streets. I just have one question for tonight. Right. Let's see. Do you feel, wait, let me start again. The two major parties have primaries to select their candidates, but do you think that they could do the same job with maybe a convention and pick their own candidates that's going to go through to the fall?
That's a good question. I think there's value in both things, but I think the primaries, it gives the public a chance to vote. But if they had like a convention with the delegates, then only those people who are already involved in things would know who to pick. Yeah, so I think I would lean towards the primaries, okay, just so people can get out there and say who they are and people have it.
All right. Do you think that the two major parties should continue having primaries, or should they have a convention and then select their candidates to run in the fall?
I believe all parties should have primaries so that all voters can have the chance and opportunity to select the representative they wish to represent, to show who they are and what they represent.
Do you think that the two major parties should continue having primaries, or you think it might be a good idea for them to have their convention and pick their candidates for the fall?
Well, John, I think we need to continue having primaries for sure, because it's the one way for all of the electorate to have a say in elections, and that was what our country was founded on all those years ago.
All right. Do you feel that the parties should continue having primaries, or do you think maybe the parties should have their own convention and pick their candidates for the fall election?
Pick their own candidates.
All right, I'm here with Josh Bain, and he was victorious today in his primary and district. What district are you in?
21.
21, District 21. So I have one simple question for Josh. Do you think we should have primaries, or do you think we should do a state convention?
I think primaries are generally a good idea. I can't see a reason why I wouldn't support them.
All right, thank you. All right. We made it. I barely made it. I got my props and I got it going here. So, all right, let's start this again. I got no hearing now all of a sudden. What's up with that?
I just have to say, y'all should hear what I hear when he's having to do all that down here, because he's like running down the stairs and then running back up the stairs.
But I got my stuff.
ADHD is a real thing.
I got my little baby Coke here too, because still dealing with the Instacart mistake. But okay, so I'm back. I got my stuff done and everything's good. I'm all right. You know, old people, you know how they are. So Lisa, tell us a little bit about yourself and what district you're running in.
So I am by career now an artist, a small business owner, and a nonprofit founder, whatever you want to call me for that. But prior to that, I consider myself a recovering HR executive. I was in HR in Indianapolis for almost 30 years, and owning a small business is a lot more fun. Now, no offense to all my former employees that I served. I thoroughly enjoyed that career. It served me well for a really long time. I think it will serve me well in my race for this office. And so I am running for City County Council, Indianapolis City County Council District 17, which is the new District 17, old District 22. And basically the west-southwest side. So just south of Rockville Road down to Troy Avenue are the north-south boundaries. The east-west would be Belmont over to Raceway. And there's a little bit of a panhandle that comes up to 10th Street and over to Country Club and back down to just south of Rockville Road.
All right. I didn't want your life story, but that's, I just want to know what district you run in. So.
I thought that was short. You said give us more about you. That's what I said.
I know. I'm just kidding. So for my audience transparency, in our wedding vows, I had in the vows that I would listen to her long stories, but I did not say I wouldn't make fun of them. So I didn't put that little thing in there. So there you go.
This is true.
So yeah, this is interesting. Whenever we're on a show, it's sort of silly. So that's good. But okay, so I'm going to turn the panel loose on you now.
Wait, so before you do that, can I address your peeps on the streets question?
Yeah, how did it go? Was the editing okay? Because I was busy.
Yeah, no, it was really good. I thought it was really good. It was also really, I thought it was really interesting to hear what they all had to say. But I want to speak to that because I got a couple of calls today from people who said, I didn't know how to vote for you because I haven't outwardly shared whether I am a Republican or a Democrat on any of my marketing materials. And so people have been kind of confused by that. So when they walked in to vote and the voting people said, you have to declare if you're voting as a Democrat or as a Republican, because this is a primary, it creates an opportunity for voter education to explain this process to voters. And most of the people you interviewed in your peeps on the streets were people who know this process. They're in the game. And the average ordinary voter doesn't understand it.
Yeah, I agree. That's, and we've had some at the polling places, they went in and they didn't declare, and all they wanted to do was answer the public or the independent, and it's all it is a public question. Are you going to vote for the referendum? And then they get mad.
There were some Democrats that wanted to vote for me, but they normally vote Democrat. So when they were asked that question, and then they get the Democrat ticket and they don't see my name and they can't vote for me. So
yeah, there's definitely some voter education that needs to be done all the way around. You know what? I've been in politics for like 5 years, and I swear I learn something new every day. And it is, and trust me, they don't help you unless you're one of your friendly. So you got to figure
a lot of new voters out there, even people who are our age who have never felt it was important to vote. And so they don't know the process. So
yeah. Well, this isn't the John and Lisa show, so I want Jordan to ask a question, and So.
Well, Lisa, you know I'm a fan of yours, and I know the experience you do bring to the table. We need a diplomat within City Council, someone who knows how to handle hostage negotiations that they love to do within their aggressive negotiations. So what I want to know is what do you think we need to do? We are having children vote that are uneducated about the process. You're basically walking into a dirty house. So what method are you going to use to help clean this mess up?
Well, I told someone today, I'm just going to continue to do the things that I have been doing as a nonprofit leader and a community leader in my neighborhood. I'm just going to be able to do it from a platform that is bigger, that carries more weight, and that can actually get things done, hopefully. And so I think one of the traits that I bring to the table is being able to work with different personalities, both sides of both. Lucy, I can't leave you out. There are multiple sides of the aisle, right? They're not just two. And working with people who might believe differently than I do, but we're all trying to get to maybe the same point. We're trying to improve the lives of our residents. We're trying to give them resources. And so I really feel like my HR experience brings that, I love the term hostage negotiations, because I kind of feel like some of my HR experience was like that, but being able to do that, being able to listen really well, and being able to bring creative ideas to the table and collaborate and communicate well with people who might not agree with me. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's,
Love it.
And that's what we're trying to do here. And it's been fun doing it with you. It's funny because some people I connect with, and the people that don't connect with me, you connect with them. So we sort of tag team this thing and
Yeah.
get it done. So Lucy, don't be nice to Lisa. I don't want be mean.
Hey, now wait a second. She's my buddy, and
I know it.
Hi, Lucy.
Are you being held hostage by this man? Do I need to come kick some butt?
Oh no, no.
She knows how to handle negotiations. No worries.
Let me say, I do want to give my husband a little bit of kudos, and I really hate to say this out loud because it kind of puts it out in the universe. And I've joked with him that during my foot surgery recovery, he's not a good caregiver, but gosh darn it, he has put up with me during this time. And so I'm just so grateful for that. So, and he finished the house, so I could have my surgery and have one floor and be able to get around to everything. So
yeah, and the wiener dog didn't die. I had to take care of the chickens, the wiener dog, her, my business, this show. I mean, the show's very important, but nobody died. Everybody's happy.
Everybody survived.
And it's all good. And we got our best foot forward. She had foot surgery, so I put that in there. So, right, Lucy, did Lucy ask a question?
I have not. I have not.
Okay. I'm surprised. Usually she gets a question in. So
I know. Usually I'm Johnny on the spot with that. Okay, so I guess my question would be, let's pretend you get to the end of the first term.
Yeah.
And you are looking back. What are the things that you will have accomplished that you'll be most proud of?
Oh, the first thing that comes to mind is having the confidence of my constituents, because right now they do not have confidence in their leadership. And I have a couple of people that are kind of like my why people, because I've heard how poorly they've been treated by our current counselors. And when I say that, I don't say that as hearsay. I say that as firsthand experience conversation with our counselors, speaking not just badly, but just atrociously badly of these people who have serious concerns within their communities, whether it's their roads, their parking situations, disturbances in their neighborhood, things like that. And people who just don't know who to turn to, where to go, where to start. And, those people are why I'm running. So if I can get through my first term and say that I've gained their confidence, I am not ever going to say I'm going to fix all your problems, because I'm not. I also don't know a lot of the inner workings yet. So, I can't make promises that I don't know that I can fulfill, but I will say that I will get in there and I will have the conversations. I'll work with other counselors to try to bring solutions. And if I can't bring a solution, I'm going to tell those residents first that I can't, and then why. Because I'm one person. We work on committees. There are a lot of inner workings of the council that bring solutions to neighborhoods, and one person can't do it all. So, but I want to be able to come back to them and say, okay, here's what I did. Here's why it worked or why it didn't work. And I'm going to keep trying. Let me keep trying. And so really, ultimately, that's why I'm doing this, because these residents have lost confidence in their leadership. And I want them to be confident that I am going to serve them well. I might not, like I said, I might not be able to fix everything, but I really want to serve them well.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. And, we need honest politicians that actually have managed stuff. I'm going to, do a little bragging about Lisa. She was the first HR at the Motor Speedway. She's been a Napa Ball Camp, vice president of HR of Napa Ball Camp, a huge corporation. And when I met her, she was in that position, and she called it babysitting adults, or
babysitting big people for a living.
Yeah. And she would come home some nights and, you don't want to know what they did. They were jumping a forklift over the ramp, I can't tell the stories because somebody's going to probably get fired. But anyway,
those people don't work there anymore. So
yeah. See, there you go. But, a lot of employees, so she's got experience managing that. So, but I'm proud of her for stepping up and doing this, because I know this is not really what she wants to do. But as she mentioned, those people that she's talking about are these people that really need a voice in our neighborhood to speak up, because there's people from the city, they come in here and they just run over them. They don't know what to ask. And so that's what we try to do, is make a voice for them to stand up against, people that want to come in and pretty much raid Mars Hill and not do anything. So
I want to interject with that real quick. So the thing that I keep thinking in my mind, a couple of things. So when we decided to start the art center and people kept telling us you need to live in the neighborhood that you're serving, that advice was the best advice we could have ever gotten. And I don't know if you've read any of Bob Goff's books, but he has a book called Love Does. And then he has a book called Everybody. It's either Everybody or Everyone Always. And he talks about loving as Jesus loved, and loving our fellow humans, regardless of where they come from. And he was one that in his books talks about when you go to serve, you need to live in the community that you're serving in. And he also says you need to get icky with people. Like you need to rub shoulders with them. You need to live with them. You need to eat with them. You need to do life with them. And so that's what we have been doing. But what I didn't realize was that getting into this community and living in this community helped us really serve the least of these. And that's where we live. And this district is a lot of the least of these. And the people that we have serving this community now in leadership are not living that way. And so they are not experiencing what these residents and these constituents are experiencing every day. And we're seeing it. Like we see it at the art center, we see it where we live. And so I feel like I really can serve from a different place because we're living with these people and we're conversing with them and we're eating with them and we're serving them. And so I also told somebody today, if I don't win, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because I'm already doing the job. I just don't have the title to go with it. And I don't have the pull with the city or the voice with the city to get stuff done. So that's why I'm running, to be able to broaden that scope of responsibility. It's still the same responsibility. I'm not going to change what I'm doing if I don't win. But I hope I win so that I can help even more than I'm doing now.
Well, and we can give you an idea of so we had under 1,000 people vote on both sides. So her competitor got about 335 votes, and I think Lisa was 511 of their. So that's a good sign.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on, that's not a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of people that it's and I think what. Our neighbors, our people here, they feel like their voice doesn't count, their vote doesn't count, and they just, what's the use of voting? I was actually on one of my jobs, and the guy doing the fence lives in Lisa's district, and I asked him if he voted. He said, "I've never voted in my life," and I'm like, okay, I see him again.
Besides the voter education about the whole primary process, the other thing is we need to get people out to vote. Like we
gotta get them fired up.
Need to get them fired up, inspired. I think inspired is a better word because I don't want people to just vote because they're mad. I want them to be inspired to vote because they really believe their voice counts and they can make a difference.
All right. We have another person back. We got Steve Whitmer back here. So you're off of the hot seat.
Hang on. Lucy, did I answer your question?
Yes,
okay.
You absolutely did.
Okay.
Yeah, she didn't take the wedding vow listening to your long stories. Okay, I'm just saying.
No, I'm the one usually giving the long stories.
With no question.
Tangents. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, we got, it's a little rabbit hole action. It happens on this show, that's for sure. So, okay, Lisa, thanks for being on. I'll see you later, guys. And all that. And we're going to bring on Steve Whitmer. Now, I'm sorry I have no snappy little thing to go to here to do this. So it's just going to be ugly. So you're going away, and probably Lucy will be on there. Oh, my gosh, again. There you go. Well, there we go. Now I got to fix it all. Carambas and all that. Okay, Mr. Whitmer, how are you this evening?
Oh, doing terrific, John. Just amazing.
Yep. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and what district you were running in and what's up.
I'm in District 16. I was running as for the GOP side for the city council, but 91% is in and looks like I'm going to lose, which is, unfortunate, but whatever. I'm okay with it. I've been kind of planning this thing for like 2 or 3 years now, ever since the riots happened in downtown, and there was no leadership at all. And whenever I would try to email our current city councilor, Jessica McCormick, I never heard anything back. Emailed like multiple times. Same thing with Vop Osley, same thing with Kristen Jones and Jared Evans. Never heard anything back. So finally I was like, I'm just going to put my head in the ring and see what happens. And I had a primary opponent today, and she got the better end of it than me.
Did you know what the numbers were?
She's like 150 votes more right now.
Okay. What was your total with both of you together? I
think it was just under 1,000 right now.
Yeah, so that was both of ours combined were about where you're at on the R side in your area. So it just gives you an idea of the difference of voting. And I try to tell people, the politicians, only thing they want from you is your vote. And if you don't vote, they don't show up. So we're going to go ahead and start with the questioning. Just whoever wants to go first. I'm not even going to call a name. It's whoever gets their mute off first. Lucy Rose.
Hey, I win. Darn it.
Dang it, you won. I'm surprised. Wait, hold on.
She's Lucy, my favorite. She
Lucy got
for an idea.
Dang it, how did that happen?
Hey, did you want to repeat that I'm your favorite?
Oh, no, you actually inspired me for an idea if I were to get past the primary, because I'm on board with the tax stuff. So one of my ideas was become with the Whitmer West Side Fund. So every 4 months or every quarter, or 3 months, I was going to have $1,000 put into a fund, and the district could figure out what they wanted to do with it. So whether it was like supporting some kind of team, or for finishing a section of road, or a bunch of gas cards, that was kind of my plan. I already had the fund ready for it, but I had to get through the primary first. But
yeah,
well,
that's definitely the first hurdle.
Okay, you got a question, Lucy?
Well, a lot of us that are on here were rebels, we're outsiders. I don't see the inner royalty of the GOP coming on the show. That's just a reflection of who we are. So how was your experience running, and would you run again?
It was very enlightening. I thought there was going to be a lot more. I thought I was going to get a little bit more help on the GOP side. I actually got a lot of help from John and what you would say, like the outsiders, of where to kind of lean into and things to avoid, and mostly people to avoid. I'll probably never run again. I mean, at this point, I'm not even sure if I'll vote again, because I'm not very convinced on the whole system. Last year, I was kind of on the edge, and this really finished me off. I just really had a hard time, like what Lisa and Kelly were saying. Like, a lot of these people do not trust the politicians at all. They don't trust the city council members. So when I put a whole platform out for 2 or 3 months, and I show them that I'm actually completing a platform, whether it be pothole repair, street cleanup, just regular floodplain information, and then everybody wants to ignore it, like it's kind of on them. I did what I could do, but that's okay.
It's like pushing
I'm a little bit bitter at the moment. That's
the fact of the matter is, if
we like that
voting
competitiveness.
Sorry, John. If voting made a difference, we wouldn't be allowed to do it.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And when you said that last year, when there was a whole bunch of elections come on, it's like, man, she nailed it. It's like, I don't want to believe it. I want to have some hope left, but man, I might be with her on this one.
Opium is a powerful drug.
You are, yeah. I was on that all day.
Yeah. So, I mean, are you tired? I mean, it's sort of draining, isn't it? I mean, it's just, the anticipation and the finality of the campaign and the talking to people, and
yeah, it was getting a little bit of self-defeating, because you would talk to some people and you get the middle finger or the door in the face and whatever. You just push through, no big deal, because then the next one, they loved you. They loved the message. You're like, I'm going to vote for you. I didn't even know that you were running. I was like, that's fantastic. I'm a little bit tired more because of the weather, because it's like 45 degrees out and very windy. So the weather got me more than the people this time.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a win. I was laying bricks on that earlier in the day, and it was. We say there's a saying in bricklaying: if it ain't freezing, it's still warm. So, but it was a little bit of a November day. It felt like a November election day. So, Jordan, go.
Yeah. Well, first, Stephen, I want to say, don't feel discouraged. That is disheartening to hear that. And remember, rebellion is built on hope. So my hope is that your experience that you've seen, even on our sides of the track, there is a lot of reform that needs to happen. It's like a building needed to be gutted. It's dry rotting. It is unsafe right now. But if people like us work together, grassroots, work hard, I assure you, for every inch we are taking, it will be a mile. And so you going out there, having those experiences with constituents, whether if it's good or bad, it's character building. At the end of the day, you know who you are, and what you are represented is all you can bring to the table. I just say, don't give up. Please be a part of the process. Your voice do count, and fight harder. Now you know what you're up against. Now you know how to take down the beast.
This is true. It was a good learning experience. I'm never going to regret that I did it, though. After knowing that Lucy ran twice, Jordan ran once, John obviously has ran multiple times, and helping him on his campaign last year is like, man, I think we're all masochists at this point.
Yeah. Well, we're going to call this the loser segment. So, but it's sponsored by.
Hey, we win. We had part. We win the gold medal. We got the medal at the end of the day.
It was just. I mean, it's like poking your eye with a stick and laughing. That's about how. Or pushing a rope. I don't. There's several things that could be. So, it is just. But I like to see that you're disappointed, because that's competitive nature, and I bet you'll be back for something. I bet you will. So, and you know what? I found that I'm not, for once, I'm not running for anything, but I was able to help several different candidates, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I really enjoy it because, man, I know how much of a struggle it is, and I know how much volunteers are appreciated. So, and it's fun to try to guide people through the process, because you learn as you're going, but you're like, dang, I wish I knew that before that happened. But that's why they call it learning. You have an experience, and then you reflect and you learn. So hopefully you'll keep up the good fight and get involved with some more stuff. And I think you will. I think you're going to be involved with us on some stuff we're getting ready to do. So
yeah, for sure.
That's good.
I'm still very supportive of that.
Yeah, and we have fun.
Exactly.
Like Jordan said, we have fun. So let's see if we got anybody. You put on what socialist just got elected? I see that you said
Jesse Brown just beat the incumbent. Is about to beat the incumbent Zach Adamson.
Really?
Yeah, by a lot too.
Well, I'm not surprised, to be quite honest.
Oh, I mean, that guy. He's at least a Democrat that speaks to me. And I actually sent him. Is he Jesse for Indy or whatever? Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I sent him a link to come on the show, and but I don't know, because he, like I said, literally he was somebody that was able to talk back, but that's not going to break my heart that Zach Adams is gone. I mean,
it is like the whole Lori Lightfoot problem. You get you get rid of her, you get something so much worse.
Well, there's that to be seen, but and that's what we talk about. Sometimes just change, isn't it? And I always tell people that until folks have something better to go to, they ain't going to move. So apparently they think Jesse's something better to go to. But my theory on how to vote for somebody, and you probably have heard this before with me, 80% is if you can get a hold of them, and you can talk to them. And I heard that earlier in your, when you talked, you said, I couldn't get a hold of them. I couldn't get all. My state rep is going on 4 years without speaking to me, other than the hand. Wild. He puts the hand up. I don't talk to. I don't. And so I just, to me, that's, you're supposed to be representing everybody, like Lisa said. So Steve, thanks for coming on, and we appreciate it. And I do not see any more people backstage, but maybe somebody will pop up. And I don't know where Tiffanie is. So Robert, her boy fan here, was when's Tiff coming back? And so that doesn't bode well for you, Jordan. I'm just saying.
Hey, I'm not. Listen, we got plenty of room on this show.
Oh, I know we do. It's good. Well, and on a side note with that, we had a conversation about our show, and we seem to be, libertarian, Republican leaning, and we have had issues with getting Democrats to come on. So we have an open invitation for Democrats that want to come on. Dana Black is a sometimes guest, and she really wants to promote the Democrat Party. But she comes on and she brings the fire for her cause, and that's what we want. We want to have a balanced show with all the opinions. So I guess I did send Mark Small a link to the show, and I don't know. And real quick, so I see Matt Hills. So he was running against Matt Hills, and Matt was complaining because Mark got so many votes. He goes, "How does this guy get any votes? He didn't do anything." And you ran into that a little bit, but it just comes down to party support. It just comes down, and I think Kelly was sort of victim to that too. It's like, some of these people go in and they tell them how to vote, and on the Democrat side, it's even more than that. It's like, "Hey, what time are you picking me up to take me to polls so I can vote for your people?" And
this was a little bit shocking though, because part of my district is in Speedway, and I've been talking to people. Like, I spent a lot of time in Speedway, and I'd say like more than half of the people that I talked to said they were gonna be voting for me, and they didn't even know that my primary opponent was even running for office. And so I imagine that a lot of people, because Speedway had an election today too, that they probably were like, "Oh, I'm gonna pick both of them or whatever." If they have that option.
I think, well, I could probably send, I see John Couch is in the thing there. I don't know. I tried to send an invite to everybody I can. So let me see what we can do on that. So Steve, thanks for coming on.
Thanks.
And we're going to talk amongst ourselves for a minute. And thanks for running.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
We'll see you next year, because you're going to run for something, I bet.
Maybe.
Governor
Not a
Whitman.
bad idea.
Governor Whitman's got to get a ring to it. Yes. All right. Thanks, Steve. All right, Lucy, every time you get out there, let's go. Let's try this, the big screen. Oh, that's scaring the people. I don't know. That's not bad. Let's try it. You got to sit up and get your stuff to get everything ready. Oh, hold on. Get your stuff there. So let me send John Couch a thing here. I see him. He's in the thing there. Let me see if I can get him let's see how I'm going to do that. He looks like he's on Facebook. Let's Lucy, tell us a story while I do this.
Actually, I got something real quick.
Okay,
Can we
go
talk
ahead.
about the turnout that we're looking at right now? So 48,000 Democrats turned out to 29,000 Republicans, and only 920 nonpartisan. That's kind of a little rough.
If they'd taken the Democratic names that were on the cemetery rolls off, there would have been 15,000 less.
Most likely, yeah. I would have to assume that, yeah.
Are we ready for the conspiracy theory already? No, let's wait. I think we can see here, because I want to give anybody a chance. So I'm sending that. John, I know you're in the chat there, so I just sent you that in your Facebook Messenger. So if you pop up backstage here, we'll bring you on. And I thought we had some others that were running, but it was interesting because, we had competitive mayor races on both sides, and you'd think that would bring some folks out. But I don't know. So what was the percentage, Jordan? Was it under or over 10?
So right now, the voting centers are reporting 100% in. Registered voters total was 621,000, and voter turnout was only 12.73. So it is a bump, but it's not nothing compared to what we have registered. So I hope
yeah, well, and I think there was some confusion on people, like Lisa said, they want to go in, I want to vote for her, but I vote Democrat. I had one guy that's his entire life has never voted for a Republican, and he voted for me, and he's 70. So I thought, and you hear that story and you hear that and you think, wow, I got a chance, but I didn't move the needle off of what they predicted. And so it's like, those are the type of things that make you wonder. So, but we'll see what's happening. Hey, Jordan, you want to talk about our little thing coming up a little bit that we got going on, or you want to wait on that?
Well, we'll drop a little hint. Like we've been talking about on the show the past few episodes, property tax are way too high. Taxes in general are way too high. And so I think it's time that we all band together, Libertarian T and Conservative Democrat, whoever. If you live in Indiana and you own a home, you know the dangers of property tax. I think it's time that we march on our Capitol and let them know that we're here and that we're not happy with what they're doing. We want representation, but we don't want double taxation with false representation. So this is going to be our chance to come together, to show unity as Hoosiers, to come together and just air out our grievances and work on a plan. Let them see that we're there and that we mean business, and that, we're not going to tolerate this for long. We're going to follow the procedures. We're going to make sure that we're making legislation move their feet. And we know that it's a grassroots issue. So this is kind of like our rally call that we're about to send out here to everyone across the state to come to the state capitol and march with us and stand with us united, that we want to own our land. We don't want to pay taxes way ridiculously high. And hopefully this will be something more to come in the future. So please stay tuned. We'll definitely have news for that coming out here really soon.
Yeah, I can hear Lucy giggling a little inside with her muting on there. Now, Lucy, is that something you'd come up and speak at? I mean,
only if I get to construct effigies and we burn or hang the effigies of the people.
As long as we don't tar and feather. Nobody gets tar and feathered.
I will not harm a real person. I'm a believer in the NAP, the non-aggression principle. That does not make me a pacifist. There's like kind of a philosophical line there. Because if somebody were to try to hurt me or my family, obviously I would do everything I can to stop them.
Yeah, you would claw their eyes out. I'm certain of it. How about I want to get a metal 55-gallon drum metal and then let people burn their property taxes in there. What do you think about that? Is that a good idea? I mean,
well, the Boston Tea Party throwing the tea into the Boston, we have to have our own niche to let people know, obviously within the scope of the law. But this will be the first time in a really long time that you'll have these different political groups put aside their differences and come together and realize, as Hoosiers, we're all suffering from this, and we're not seeing any benefits coming back to us as a consumer. So I think this is our chance to really bridge gaps and work together across the aisle intrinsically.
Yeah, I agree, and this is something that
so good when you say it,
we all can. Well, in the gas tax too. So
it's for the children. It's
for the children. I'm going to push Grandma off the cliff in her wheelchair with her granddaughter on the thing and a puppy in her lap. That's what Republicans are known for.
Yeah.
Just saying. We're gonna go there. We might as well go there. So, so that's coming up soon. We're working on that right now. This is going to be one of our first sort of get it out there and go. Our friend Micah Beckwith, I think, is going to come and speak at this, and we're working on some other ones. And maybe you could help us, Lucy, with Donald Rainwater. I think he'd be a good one to want to get there.
He might be interested in being
yeah.
We
so
want
anybody,
we want everybody.
So if you have maybe if you want to set up a little booth or a table or whatever, we're going to make this thing. We're going to make this thing fun. So stay tuned.
Kind of like a summit, if you think. A summit for the people to come together and network, but also let us be seen together. This is what unity looks like. We can be all different, have our own beliefs, but we do have a common ground, and we're meeting on this common ground for change.
Yeah. We could have like a Hoosier summit.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. So keep that in mind there on that part of it. So it doesn't look like John Couch is going to come backstage. And we are at our hour of stopping, and I do have my props now on there. I think I probably tell too much of what I'm doing behind the scenes, because if I wouldn't have said anything, you would have known I was gone during Peeps on the Streets. But I wanted to tell you, if I wasn't here when I got back, what happened. So now we are ready for that infamous time of the conspiracy theory. So hold on, let me.
In this campus.
Yeah, I want to put up the banner, and then I don't know. Let's leave it big. Let's leave this little format here and go with it. I like it. It's like all that. So get ready, get your hats on, people. Let's go. Hey, y'all, better get your tinfoil hats out. It's time for the conspiracy theory. Come on now, let's go. Yeah, if you noticed, I had a Rebel Recovery bracelet.
Handmaid's Tale kerchief tinfoil hat.
Oh, it's the bishop. We have the pontiff and the...
Hello, my child.
Yeah, so
I'm here to sanctify the results of tonight.
He said it needs something out the sides there.
Hold on. I got you.
Oh, he's gonna put both hats on.
Yep.
All right.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah, you got that. Well, hey, if this is the night for technical difficulties and tinfoil hat difficulties for sure. But yeah, like we should have never messed with him.
Sorry, I'm getting ready to turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah, I know those kids are wearing you down,
Good
aren't
one,
they?
Lucy. Good one.
Hey,
Oh, you
Lucy,
have
I'll
no
let you
idea.
know. My cousin is Sarah Sampson's running for council up in Zionsville, and she has 10 kids. I don't know how she did. I don't know if anybody in the audience has a spare thumb or whatever. Look up Zionsville Council. I think she's District 4, Sarah Sampson. See if she won for me, if you would. Put it in the chat. So while we're doing this,
Chinese warrior hats, don't it?
Oh yeah, now you got something going on. Yeah.
There we go. It's it's a Mongolian hat. Here we go.
Everybody
No
was
insults.
kung fu fighting. Cats was fast as lightning. Okay, Jordan, you're first since you got the kung fu hat.
All right.
Look at mine. That's
what conspiracy theory do I have today?
You want Lucy to go with her fact first? Or?
We'll do this. All right, we'll do this. So apparently, right?
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Your other tinfoil hat is on your microphone. That's not good. There we go. Yeah, it's like a cat.
So this is going to be an anthropology type conspiracy, right? So they say that humans came over the Great Ice Bridge, 10,000 years ago, right? We find these Clovis points that are only about 10,000, 20,000 years old. But when they find an actual site in New Mexico where they find a mastodon bones that were broken up in such a weird way, disconfigured that it naturally wouldn't have happened, that they found out that there was humans, us here, over 350,000 years before the actual date that they said that humans migrated across. And another fun fact, what gave them resolute to that is that the Great Cordilleran ice sheet that ran across northern Canada to Alaska melted multiple times. So technically, folks, we are still in an ice age. The Donovan Ice Age is the one I think we're in. No, the Quarrian Ice Age. So every however many ice ages we've had, they always had a period of warming up. And they always had a period where ice melted and land would disappear from the face of the earth for a period of time. So this whole conspiracy theory first that we all came over here 10,000 years ago obviously isn't true. I think it was aliens. I think the aliens have been shooting some type of refrigerant, freezing the planet to prevent us from propagating our species. That's basically what I'm getting at. So obviously somebody was here long ago before we came.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad I got the banner across the bottom. Because I don't know what the heck you just said, but it was interesting. So, all right, Lucy, conspiracy fact.
Well, multiple things, but Jordan, I love it. And for those of you who are interested in that sort of thing, you should be reading "Fingerprints of the Gods" by Graham Hancock. So if you've not yet read that, if you haven't read any Terrence McKenna, I think you're in for a treat. And there's iceagefarmer.com talking about solar cycles and all that. Anywho, I digress because today I'm going to talk about something that Bill Gates would have stopped had he only known, had he only had the power to stop this group of people. So over the weekend, I was one of the featured speakers at the Patriot Homesteaders Conference. So this is the first one that they've had. It'll be next year again, last weekend of April, coming back to Scott County Fairgrounds, which is exit 29 off of I-65. It was amazing. But this is why I'm sharing this. We can have good conspiracies. We can conspire together. And if our conspiracies are better, then we're going to win. So together, I learned this weekend how to butcher chickens. That was something that I was had a few trepidations about. I thought I was going to bawl and cry, and turned out it was okay. Didn't mind it at all. I learned that oxen are not a species. And so I learned that, how to drive oxen so that when there is no power, no diesel fuel, I can still, plow the garden, plow the farm. I got to meet the homesteading pastor, which was a real treat. So there are people right now with me and with each other that are conspiring to do good things. And that's my conspiracy theory. And Bill Gates would have stopped us if he'd only known about it, but he didn't have the power to stop these folks from coming together. Mostly people from Kentucky and a whole bunch of Hoosiers.
I saw somebody talk about the Bill Gates farmland. They said they were going to make him sell his 27,000 acres. I'm like, try a lot more than that.
Yeah, like more like
So,
27 million acres or something.
and then you start wondering what they're talking about. Yeah, there's a bunch. So now I know those were both very important conspiracy facts, and I mean, good conspiracy, and then something about an old elephant that we traveled across the safari desert to get here.
Aliens,
over
man.
Alaska. Aliens, whatever.
Aliens, punctuated equilibrium. Look it up.
But this is the real conspiracy. So what I have here, let me back it up. This is Pop-Tarts, and this conspiracy here is that this Pop-Tart is the one you buy like at the store. This is one you get at the convenience store. And what I'm trying to say is, doesn't this one look bigger than this one? I mean, are they trying to cheat us at the convenience store? I mean, well, hey, I can manipulate this. Hold on. No, they're right by each other. So does the silver one, the tinfoil conspiracy Pop-Tart, look bigger, or is it the same?
Are we talking about shrinkflation here?
Shrinkflation.
Bigger packaging.
Or are we talking
right,
about
we were talking about. So I'm going to open them. I'm going to open them up. I'm going to get
Okay.
one out and see.
This
so
is scientific.
My conspiracy theory was that the blue one is smaller because it's like, okay, I think it's small because it looks like something that somebody would do, like shrinkflation. Like Pringles. Pringles made the curve in the Pringle more, so they would get rid of like 2 or 3 chips per bag or per little thingamajiggy. I'm like, really? But they do make better duck bills. If you ever want to put the Pringle in your mouth like that, you can make a better duck bill. So here we go. We got the 2 Pop-Tarts. Let's see if let's put them back. A little static electricity. All I know is the blue ones have some pretty. So let's see here. Let's put them together and see. The one is a little, I don't know if you can see it. The one right there, it's a little bit bigger, but it's not, I don't think it's significant enough to say that.
I think your sample size is too small. You should get one from the north side and make sure the folks up in Fishers who are bougie, I used to live there, so I can pick on them, are not getting, bigger, better Pop-Tarts than the folks in the inner city.
Yeah, I know.
Conspiracy. Republican versus Democratic Pop-Tarts. See, the Democrat ones are the ones that after you open them up, you find out it's half gone and been resealed. Socialism.
So look at that. I got 4 toaster pastries. So I don't know if I eat these or not, but I love Pop-Tarts. I eat one every morning. They're the best ever. I don't think they're good for you at all.
With frosting.
These have with frosting. That tastes like chalk if you don't have frosting.
Food of the gods, man.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Through it.
All right. Well, that's just a most interesting show. We thank our viewers for putting up with the technical difficulties on there, and we have to. We got election coming up, and Tiffanie can come back on the show, and we'll probably get Mark Small back on. He was running a Republican primary, and I saw his challenger tonight, and he was complaining about how many. The other guy won, but he was complaining that Mark got votes. I'm like, okay. He goes, how does he get any votes? Hey, he needs to watch our show, and he'll learn. So anyway, that's what we have here. Let's see. Let me get to the right thing here. And thanks for good. Oh, let's talk about our show next week. We have the Fishers Westfield Library deal going on up there because they've cleared out the shelves to make sure they don't have any pornography in there where the kids can get to it. So we're going to have our friend Micah Beckwith, and you know what? Tiffanie is on that library board, and the Star News, they've done a little story about it up there. And I don't think they covered it in a very biased. They're pretty biased about how they covered the story. So we're going to hear the other side of the story and see what is going on up there and the book banning, book burning librarians, those evil people on the board and all that. So we're going to see that next week. And so tune in for that. And then we'll be back for another round. I think it's going to be 119 shows. Whew, that's a lot. So, wait, hold on. I think Lucy's got something in the thing. So, she's got, for somebody, a book thing. So, okay. All right. Everybody, thanks for watching, and we will catch you next week.
Yeah!